Okay, we've been discussing about AWS Solution Architect, and the previous topic we stopped discussing. Now we started discussing Amazon S3 storage classes, right? So the storage classes. Uh, Previous video we discussed about the cost and then performance and accessibility, right? Discuss different classes, standard one zone, and then we discuss about Amazon Glacier, right? So today we're going to discuss about Amazon S3 lifecycle policies. How do we configure lifecycle policies? Moving data to one storage classes to another storage class, right? So what are S3 life cycle policies? So what are the life cycle policies? So life cycle policies are automated rules that manage object throughout their life cycle by defining when object transition between storage classes or when they expire. So we're going to discuss how do we automate, right, life cycle of an object, right, and how do we move in between storage classes when they expire. Something similar to, let's say, uh, so when you something like some sort of rule, you're going to access some of the data for 1 year, and then after 1 year, you not going to access it very frequently, and then you only accessing it infrequently, like once 6 months or something, and then after 2 or 3 years you don't access them at all, so they're going to be archived. So we can configure these ones like object transition. One thing is object transition. The other one is when they expire, right? So this one enables us to manage storage cost, right? Uh, Managing this storage cost like not in our on premises storage. So we don't have something like in our on premises. So we just is something is stored, so something the same cost, but this one will gives us some of the advantages. One is reduce storage cost automatically and optimize for access patterns. So you get less data when you accessing. You don't have mixed data, sort of access not going to be slowing down, and then maintain compliance requirements. So we're going to keep a compliance requirement with the data, right? So let's have a look how this little diagram, animation diagram works. So um, and see that it got the first thing is three bucket. So initially, uh, the objects are in a standard class, and that will be active for 30 days. So users normally are accessing in the 30 days in this example, right? And then after 30 days, they're only going to be infrequently access, the less frequent access, and that is in 90 days. In between 30 days, after 30 days, 90 days, it's going to be keep in infrequent access, and after 90 days, they're going to be archived. It's not going to be accessed, or it's going to be very rarely is going to be accessed. So they're going to move into archive. That means into glacier class, right? So This is what we can do is we can configure this one is automatically. We don't need to looking into go into a standard one and hey, this object is now 30 days old, this object is 28 days old, but it will happen automatically, right? So so key configuration elements here in transitions means move object between storage classes. So moving standard to infrequent to glacier, something like that. And then expiration, delete object after specified time. Also, we can set up to delete them automatically. So let's say you don't want it after 7 years. So every object is kept for 7 years, then it will be deleted. So you will get a more space uh, recovered, right? And filters, right? So you can filter, apply rules to specific prefixes or tags. So you can use to categorize data for prefixes or tags. You can use tagging data to create rules. So we're probably going to go into the portal and looking into these storage classes and maybe what we can do we can see the what are the rules we can create for accessing applying these configuration, right? uh, Best practice is consider minimum storage duration to avoid peace, right? So make sure you identify the access pattern and then set up a rule. Use object tagging for granular control. So you can tag these object into a uh, make them to granularly a selected object to apply these rules and analyze access patterns before configuration. So analyze this access pattern before configuration. Have a look. Let's say you got some video files, video footages. So how how you decide how many days you need immediate access, and then maybe you consider less frequent access, and then you consider archiving them, and you're not going to access them at all, right? That is one of these key element we're going to discuss in this uh, storage classes, right? All right. So here we're going to looking into more deeper, right? More deeper into Amazon S3 storage classes, right? We're going to looking into comparing cost versus performance, right? So you probably need to remember these cases. I have seen the questions coming up with the cases, descriptive question asking, then you have to consider what sort of storage classes is required for the problem they explaining, right? The probably you have to select they might be telling you you have to select either durability, so availability or cost, which is whatever the factors you need to consider in the question, and then you probably need to select what sort of storage class you need to select accordingly from the question, right? So let's have a look at Amazon S3 storage classes cost versus performance, right? So first column give you a storage class, and then second column you the use case, and the third column is a durability, right? And then availability, and then cost, right? So so S3 standard is the normal standard S3 storage class, so that we use frequently access data. So in a company, if you're accessing the data very frequently, you need to keep it in standard tiering, right? And the durability is 11 ninths, right? In 99 point, then how many 9 nines and 10, 11, 11 nines durability. Also, you got a availability of a 99.99, right? Cost going to be a highest cost. You're probably going to get the highest cost for standard using a standard class. And then you got something called S3 intelligent tiering. So intelligent tiering you can use for unknown or changing access patterns, right? So durability, you have the same as the standard 11 nines, right? Availability also you have 99.9, only 1 9 is less, right? So that is auto optimizes the cost, right? Because that one does depend how you access, right? And then you got a is three standard 1A, right? Infrequent but rapid access needed. So this is infrequent, but you need a rapid access, right? You need to access immediately when you need it. Maybe let's say a video files, video footages, right? So you don't access uh, you don't access frequently, but you need to access immediately, like if footages you want to see to police or something, let's say video footage, it's got a durability same as the standard, so you need to make sure to keep remember the three standard intelligent tiering and its three standard one got the same durability, right? And same durability, right? 11 nines, right? And this is only 99.919 is a less availability than S3 standard, right? And it's approximately 40% cheaper than standard. This one, right? 40% cheaper than standard, right? And then we'll go to uh, is three one zone, right? One zone, non-critical, infrequent data, right? This is only available in one availability zone, right? That's also got, I believe, 11 nines, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 9, 11 9, but only the difference is only available in a one zone. So availability goes a little bit less, 99.5, and it's approximately 60% cheaper than the standard. So one zone, if you go to one zone. So the glacier class. What are the options available, right? S3 glacier instant retrieval. So the different is retrieval. Most of them are right. So retrieval, rarely accessed, millisecond retrieval. So they're going to be accessed very rarely, but you can access in a similar way like you accessing in a standard. So same as the standard 11 nines, right? Durability is all of them are seems durability is 11 nines, and then this one is at 99.9, right? And approximately 68% cheaper than the standard, right? And then you got something called glacier flexible retrieval, right? It's a long-term backup, so minutes to hours retrieval. You can't access like a millisecond in previous one instant retrieval, right? The durability same as a standard, uh, 99.99 after restore, right? And it's available 99.99. So this one is 80% cheaper than the standard, right? And then you got the deep archive glacier regulatory archives 12 plus hours retrieval, so take a little while. If you want to access, you have to wait more than 12 hours. The durability is same, 99.99. So 95% cheaper than the standard. So this one is nearly 95% cheaper than the standard, right? So keep in mind in the questions uh, key considerations, right? So all classes offer the same durability. So class durability is 11 nines. Just need to remember that. Cost decreases as availability and retrieval speed decreases, right? Availability, availability and retrieval speed, right, decreases, and then the cost decreases, right? So durability, we can remove the durability factor because they're all durable 11 nines. So all depend on availability. Availability is most of them are 99.99. Only two intelligent tiering is standard 1A, and one zone is the least availability one, 99.5. The all others 99 point more than 99.9 available. Match storage classes to access patterns for cost effectiveness. So the you need to match whatever your requirement, match your requirement and select the storage class accordingly, right? So we're going to quickly discuss uh, detailed analysis of transition cost between S3 storage classes, right? So we'll looking into how these transitions cost affecting when you are moving S3 object between among uh, different storage classes. So understanding transition cost. Moving data between S3 storage classes incurs transition cost that can significantly impact your overall storage expense, right? So it's not free to transition the data between different storage classes. You need to storage classes. The cost per storage is a one thing, and then the transition cost is another thing. Early deletion fees apply when transitioning before minimum storage deletion duration. If you early deletion fees apply when transitioning before minimum storage duration. So there's a minimum storage duration. If you don't keep that duration, it might uh, apply not might, it will apply transitioning fees, right? And data retrieval fees when moving from lower cost tiers to higher performance tiers. When you move in data from lower cost tiers to higher cost, let's say if you have something in the uh, archive tier and then you're moving into a standard tier or something, that retrieval fees will be applied per object transition fees for lifecycle operations. So lifecycle operations, it will cost you transitioning fee for each object, right? So accessibility lower to higher, right? Cost lower to higher, right? So 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 there's a minimal duration here, right? So let's have a look at minimal duration, right? So see you have here in a, let me bring this one down. All right, good. So we can see it properly. Let me make it bigger, maybe. Uh, or I'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, good. So you can see that now. So before we looking into this graph, I'm going to show you transitioning type, right? So See, you get a transitioning type, and then you have a cost factor and minimum duration. So moving an object from a standard to 1A tier, right? Per GB transitioning free, minimum duration. So you need to keep at least 30 days before you moving to 1A tier from a standard. And then any 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 uh, storage classes, if you want to move into a glacier, so you will get a transitioning plus retrieval cost. The minimum duration is 90 days. And then you move anything to deep archive, lowest storage, highest retrieval, you have to keep them in 180 days. So if you do it less than days, you might get some cost, right? Um, See that. So S3 is standard, and then from ST standard, right? And you can get 30 days, and then you can move into standard of 1 day, and then 90 plus days, you can move into Glacier Instant Retrieval, and then 90 days, you can move into Glacier Flexible Retrieval, and then you move leave it at 180 days and move into a Glacier Deep Archive, right? So, highest cost, medium cost, lowest cost, direction of transition, life cycle rule. So, life cycle rule, this is coming in this way, right? And transition incur one-time fee, right? And retrieval fees apply for lower tiers, right? So, I can't see the tricks. I don't know where are they. Anyway, so just a minimum duration you have to keep, right, before we applying a fee, right? See that this one, all right? Let me get the figures, right? S3 is standard, right? So it's a 23. Um, intelligent tiering 21. Uh, this one 30, right? 3 standard monthly storage cost, right? See that, right? Right. See that potential early deletion fees, right? So this color gives you, if you delete early, it will get you this fee, early deletion fee, right? See that here, the 13, right? But transition free is uh, all right. Let's say standard 23 monthly storage, right? There's nothing in here, right? So it's three standard. This one is a 23, and let's have a look this one. Intelligent tiering monthly storage is only $21, right? Here is three standard, right? $13, right? $13, and then you get transitioning free of $10, and then $30, right? So altogether 30, 10, and 30, right? So it's more than $50 coming up. So one zone, let's say one zone is going to charge $10, transition fee is $10, and then potential early deletion is $30 if you need it, right? So this one only going to charge $4, same data, $10 transitioning. Early deletion is $90. It's going to be very expensive. So this one only charging $2. Early deletion is going to be $20, and then totally that potential early deletion fee is $90. So expensive. So this one Can't even check. Maybe $1. $1, yeah. Let's see. $1. This one's $40. This one's 180. So you need to keep on minimum days. Eh, If it's not a minimum days, you're going to get a early deletion fee as well, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about AWS S3 lifecycle management for cost optimization, right? So how do we going to optimize costing for lifecycle management? So what is lifecycle management? So automated transitioning object between storage classes or deleting object based on defined rules, right? So optimize cost based on access patterns, right? And reduce the storage cost for aging data and maintain compliance with retention policies, right? So, so standard, so highest cost, right? So standard one, you, you need to keep at least 30 days, and then you can move into Glacier 90 days after, and then deep archive 180 plus days, right? Cost optimization strategies move infrequent access data to a standard 1 day after 30 days. So make sure you move after 30 days from a, uh standard, so it will not incur any early moving fees, right? And then transition to Glacier after 90 days after days for archival. So from here, so move into Glacier 90 days, right? Use intelligent tiering for unpredictable access patterns. So keep it in here, unpredictable patterns, right? Set up expiration rules for temporary data, expiration date for temporary data, get them deleted, right? And then apply object tagging for granular policy control. So tags, maybe you can delete within tags some of the data, temporary data can be deleted, or some of the data can be archived into a Glacier, right? So implement best practice. Analyze access patterns before creating rule. Consider retrieval cost for cold storage. So cold storage. Use CloudWatch metric for monitor transitions. Test policies on a small bucket first. Document expected cost savings for stakeholders. So that will gives you a idea of how do you manage in this storage data, right? All right, so we're going to discuss this slide quickly because it's already 26 minutes. So comparing different S3 storage classes for cost efficiency. So we're comparing different S3 storage classes cost efficiency. Everything we do for making the cost efficient, right? All right, so we're going to looking into storage class selection factors. So the things affecting how do we going to select the storage class. The first thing is data access frequency, how often you need the data. And the second one is retrieval time, right? How quickly you need to access. The durability need, how importance of data prevention, and then cost consideration, so your budget constraint, right? So AWS S3 storage classes cost versus accessibility pyramid, right? So S3 standard is the highest cost, then intelligent tiering, then 1A, right? One zone, 1A, and then Glacier and the Glacier Deep Archive. So when you go to here, highest cost, highest performance. When you go down, lowest cost, slower retrieval, right? All right, so let's go into this table and have a look at storage class, cost, retrieval time, minimum storage, best use case. So standard, cost is really high. Retrieval time millisecond, minimum storage. You don't have any minimum storage restriction there. So best use case is frequently accessed data. Intelligent Turing cost is less than standard, but more from the other classes. The access is milliseconds, so you need to keep 30 days at least. So unknown access pattern, standard 1A, cost is less than Turing, retrieval in millisecond. You need to keep 30 days before moving to another class, otherwise it will incur uh, early moving fee, so infrequent access, right? One zone 1A, one availability zone, less than standard 1A, millisecond, you have to keep 30 days, reproducible, less critical data, so keep less critical data because it's not available 99.5, I think, only one availability zone. Then we go to archive glacier, cost is less, retrieval minute to hours, you have to keep 90 days. Long-term archive is something you move to glacier, you need to keep 90 days. And then deep archiving glaciers, rarely access archival, maybe compliance data. You have to keep 7 years or something. So minimal, you have to keep 480 days, right? So use lifecycle policies to automate transitions, implement S3 analytics to identify patterns, consider S3 storage lanes for optimization. That's one of the services. Delete unneeded data promptly. Get rid of data, whatever not needed, which is incur a fee in the storage. All right, I think I'm going to stop in this point and going to uh, discuss more about uh, S3 storage classes in my next video. Until then, thank you very much.